Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Butterfly Bakery, it is the Duchess Mystery Pepper. I thought this was such a brave and fascinating idea when I first saw this on the shelf. A very nondescript label, a sauce that is sort of a very light golden. It doesn't look like other sauces. It's a pepper that nobody has probably heard of outside of this sauce, and maybe doesn't exist outside of Duchess Farms, wherever that is, Vermont, I'm sure. So they were growing in the middle of a row of ghosties, larger, fleshier peppers, tasted like a ghost, but with more juicy sweetness. We'll get into that. This, so it's soup, shrimp, and turkey sandwiches. I initially read this as shrimp and turkey. I'm like, who would put shrimp and turkey on a sandwich? But I saw the comma. So we're calling it 5 out of 6 for heat. I don't think that's what I would say. Organic Duchess Farms mystery peppers and salt. So we literally have just peppers, vinegar, and salt. And I noticed that that is something that Butterfly is not afraid to do. And sometimes the results are pretty great, and sometimes I don't necessarily... I sometimes wish they might have reconsidered that approach with some of the peppers, but I think this is fascinating. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's like a very light brown, almost golden sort of color. It looks really, 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 really interesting. And the smell is also really, really, really interesting. I wouldn't say it tastes necessarily exactly like a ghost. I mean, it's ghost-ish. But we'll get into it, actually. We'll get into it here. Let me taste this, and then I'll look at you and I'll tell you about it. My favorite thing about this is the silkiness of the mouthfeel. The second I knew about this sauce, I wanted it. Literally the second. The very first second I knew of it. I always get excited about new peppers, and when I looked into it, I'm like, I have to have this. Literally, the first time I saw it, I wasn't there for this. I wasn't there. I think I was cruising BYT, the hallowed shelves, a BYT, looking for some more Sweet Hots, which I just never seem to have enough of. And I saw this, and I looked at the ingredients, and I said, I don't care if that's not, if there's other styles in that sort of vein. I don't care if I'm not here for that, I'm not leaving without it. And that was a great decision. And then it sat on my shelf for a while. But it is such, like, it's a curiosity to me. It's a fantastic sauce. Utterly delicious. But this label is just, it's odd to me. It's like, I don't quite know what to do with this light green color. I'm like, this is so odd. I mean, it's not flashy. It's not anything like that. It's just, it's bizarre. And I think they picked the labels based on the color of the peppers, if I had to guess. So maybe that's what they look like when they're raw. But So for a long time, I'm going to get into the flavor notes here. For a long time, I was a home brewer. And depending on the yeast you use, you can get sort of stray effects, I guess we'll call it, in the beer. You can get these fruity overtones. And a lot of people have leaned into that with Hefeweizens and fruit in the beer and all that kind of thing. The Anchor steam beer, for instance, they used a lager yeast, but they didn't lager it, as in keep it at a cool temperature. So they got all these different fruity notes to it. And that is what this sauce reminds me of, because there's a lot of fruity notes similar to what you would get with that sort of fermentation process I just described with the yeast, doing home brewing. Anchor beer, for instance, their steam beer, that is how they came up with that, by not holding it at a different temperature, and then it got room temperature instead of being chilled, and they had all these interesting fruity notes to it, and that's where steam beer came from. So that is really what I think happened as well. You get this wild pollination, and you just get this incredible aspect to this. You still got some of the bitter super hot as well. That is definitely notable, but you've also got a lot of I think they call it juicy sweetness or something like that. It's very, yeah, they call it juicy sweetness. There is what I would characterize more as fruitiness along the lines of those other things. It is wonderful. I don't know what the size of that patch was, but I will tell you this is a wonderful sauce. And if it is something that is only that sort of one-time cultivar, if you can get your hands on a bottle of this, I strongly encourage you to do that. This is one of those sort of built-in limited time things potentially, but it is well worth it to seek it out. This is just so good. And it's really, really interesting as well. It is very much pepper, vinegar, salt though, so it's not, you wouldn't wind up using it probably everywhere, but it is quite delicious. Okay, so today I got a crispy fish from Arby's, and I replaced the tartar sauce with mayo, and they did their usual bang up job here, I see. All right, so we got this gigantic triangle of fish. Vinegar, pepper, salt, right? That is the combination. That's the winning combination, no less, for a good Louisiana style. Obviously cayenne instead, but this is definitely hotter than the majority of Louisiana style cayenne hot sauces I've had. So let's get some of this on there. I have loved this everywhere I put it. I actually bought shrimp just so I could have with this sauce. It's not like I'm obviously not doing it here because I couldn't decide. Do I want to do shrimp? Do I want to do one of these fish things? And I was going to Arby's anyway to get stuff for other videos. And I thought, okay, let's do it here. Let's just see how this goes. But bet you bottom dollar, I will be having this on some shrimp as well. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, so good. I would love to know the story of this. How did this happen? Was Claire out at Duchess and they said, hey, we got these weird things. Can you do something with it? Or did they try them themselves and then say, hey, Claire, we got these weird things. Can you do something with it? I'm sure it was something like that. And I think to be skilled at the level she is, you have to have a great palate. And I'm sure that She does, and her great palate lit into one of those, and she went, oh. Let us embrace the purity of what may never be seen again. I hope it is. These are fantastic. I wouldn't characterize it as a sweet hot in terms of heat. In fact, I would say definitely it is not anywhere near 5 out of 6. This is one of those artisanal sauces, right? If you care at all about this sort of thing, about hot sauces, about trying different pods, any of that, this has to be on the radar. It's an absolute must. Oh, no! No! My cowl. Oh, no. I'm getting gloppy white stuff all over it. Make your own jokes. Anyway, if you care at all about this kind of thing, this has to be something you get. I would say the more interested you are in the different characteristics of various peppers, the more you're going to like this. I wouldn't say it's a sauce for everyone. But, man, this hit so many notes at once for me. It brought me back to that home brewing time. I mean, there is an appreciable level of heat here. It's kind of like you get the super hot bitter along with that intense fruitiness, just without the scorching to it. You know, maybe she tasted the pepper and went, I think for this one, less is more. There's 3 ingredients to this sauce, and it is one of the happiest discoveries I've had, not only this year in 2026, just generally. Butterfly Bakery just keeps surprising me with all the wonderful concoctions they come up with. I love that. And I will say this. This is one of the very few sauces I'm grateful that I had the chance to try. Obviously, I do a lot of coverage. A lot of different hot sauces pass between these lips. So for something to stand out is, I think, pretty remarkable. And this is just a dynamo of a sauce. It honestly is kind of amazing to me. I wouldn't put it on everything, I don't think, but I've tried it on a lot of different stuff, and I found it super, super enjoyable there. The thing with this is I get a little cautious about trying it. Well, I don't normally like sauces like this on pizza because I want something sweeter usually. But like, say, on a cream dish where I might use the Louisiana style, I am so afraid. I am terrified. Petrified to my core that I will lose all those little delicate grace notes that make this sauce so very special and wonderful. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take that chance. I have other stuff that's way more vinegar forward. That's mostly what I want anyway, to restore balance to the food world that I'm consuming. That's really what a lot of that boils down to. This I want to enjoy as the majestic work of art that I think it largely is. Unique. There's nothing else quite like this. And yeah, if you care about all that stuff I mentioned, this is a must. Absolute must. And I don't know what else there is for me to say. It is stunning and just incredibly delicious, and one of the happiest things I think that I've come across this year. And we'll just leave it right there. So that is the Butterfly Bakery Duchess Mystery Pepper Hot Sauce. Now to fall in peace to serve the flame.